All right, the good news is once you get this, this is going to be easy points on the test. All right, easy points. Whoops, okay. Sorry, I got distracted when I got that text message just now. Undo. Oh, it's gone. All right, well, this is embarrassing. Let's see. Here it is. Can we make it bigger? All right. Boom. Okay. So as I was saying, the good news is this is easy points once you understand this. It's going to be a nice 4 or 5 points for you on this test. No problem. Okay. So what we're doing, let's go through these one by one. The limit as x approaches 0 from the right. So we're approaching 0 from the right. All right. So let's see what happens to the y value. Well, it's going to infinity as we approach 0 from the right. So we just say this is equal to infinity. All right, that thickness is way too big for this. All right, cool. All right, so now we're going to do the limit as x approaches -4. It doesn't specify if we want it to come from the right or the left, so that means we have to approach from both sides. As we approach -4 from the right, we're up here at some decimal, like 0.2. As we approach from the left, we're down here at -1, but it's approaching two different values, so that limit does not exist. Okay, the limit as x approaches 5 now. Same situation, we're approaching two different values as we approach 5 from two different sides, so this is also does not exist. Okay, here's -4. We're approaching it from the left. So we come to the left, we're approaching -4, seeing what happens to the graph, see what happens to the y value. The y value is going to -1. All right, now we're approaching -5. So we come over to x equals -5. We approach it from both sides because it doesn't specify if we're going from the right or the left. It just says the limit as x approaches -5. As we go from the left, we're at 0. As we go from the right, we're at 0. So good, this limit exists and it's just 0. The limit as x approaches -1. Okay, again, from both sides. As we approach from the right, we're at -1. Approach from the left, we're at -1. So this is just -1. Okay, this is important. The limit as x approaches 0. From the right, it was infinity. From the left, it looks like it's -infinity. Since it's approaching two different infinities, this limit does not exist. D in E. Okay, so a couple of things I want to touch on really quick. So some people were confused on the practice test because I actually put in the holes like I should have on this one, on the practice test. And people said, oh, well, the limit as x approaches 5 from the right, oh, it doesn't exist because it's a hole. No. The limit does exist at holes. The limit exists. The function does not. That's why there's a hole there. We take the limit to figure out what's happening to the function as we get arbitrarily close to the hole. And the answer is that's the limit. Okay, so in this case, this hole is at 1.4 or something. But I didn't ask you for that limit on this one. Okay, but the important thing to know is if you're approaching a hole, that does not mean the limit doesn't exist. The only way it means the limit doesn't exist is if we're approaching the limit from both sides, in which case it doesn't exist because we're approaching two different values. But if we're approaching the limit as from the right in both of these cases, then the limit does exist. Okay, so just wanted to clear that up because a lot of people mess that up on the practice test.